Hi sleepyheads, it's Pajamakin, and today I'm going to be doing a different kind of video. Normally I just post pre-recorded gameplay or some archives of my streams, but I was so inspired by today's Nintendo Direct that I just had to make a video. So, on June 21st of 2023, Nintendo had a Direct where they announced a lot of new Mario titles, a remake of Super Mario RPG, a remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, a new 2D platformer, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, with both Peach and Daisy playable, but most surprisingly, a new Princess Peach solo game. Now, this isn't too shocking considering the success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie and how she is portrayed in the movie. But it's still pleasantly surprising, considering the leaks that we've had up to this point. They only tease what we would come to find out would be Super Mario Bros. Wonder and the new Super Mario RPG remake. But a new Peach game? And nearly 20 years after her second solo title, yes, I said second, we'll get into that later. Today, I want to go over Peach's history as a playable character and discuss how we got to this point, and finish up with an analysis of the new game teased. So, here we go. While Peach is present in all of the mainline Mario games, she is seldom seen playable, acting as the goal the player is looking to achieve to finish the game. But she has joined in on the adventure a few times. Super Mario Bros. 2, the American version, yes, I know it's a reskin of Doki Doki Panic, that saw Peach join Mario, Luigi, and Toad on their adventure. Funnily enough, although it wasn't technically a Mario game, Peach's abilities such as floating would become a staple of hers from here on out. Now, the next mainline game she was playable in was, Super Mario 3D World, released in 2013, 24 years after her last time being playable in a main Mario game. Now here she plays the same as she does in Super Mario Bros. 2, save for it being a 3D platformer instead of a 2D side-scrolling platformer. But that's kind of to be expected since the game was a celebration of previous Mario games. Just for the record, I do not count Super Mario Run. The next time she would be playable, it wouldn't really be her, it was a power-up for Toadette in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which basically changed Toadette into a Peach lookalike. But now, we're in 2023 with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's pretty exciting, right? But let's talk about her solo games. And yes, I said games. Now, I normally wouldn't count this, the first one I'm about to discuss, as being an actual game, but I've been reading articles. The articles have been dropping this. So for archival reasons, I believe I have to. But back in 1990, doing a promotion for Super Mario World, McDonald's released this promotional event where you could win a Super Mario Brothers watch, and there were 3 of them. And one was called Princess Toadstool's Castle Run. The game basically features Peach trying to run to her castle and avoid Koopa Troopas. There you go, that's Peach's first game. Now the game you've all been waiting for, Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo DS. That came out in Japan in 2005 and everywhere else in 2006. This game switched up the roles, and now it was Mario and Luigi needing saving and Peach the one to rescue them. The game was solid, although it received a bit of backlash. The big one being the implication that Peach, being a woman, used her emotions to fight. Now, having played the game, I don't really see that. All of the enemies used their heightened emotions to attack Peach, and Peach was only doing the same. But I guess for this to be her first notable solo game and it features her fighting with her emotions, there's an argument there. I just personally don't think it was that big of a deal. The second criticism, and this one has died down in recent years, is that it was just too easy. Yes, a lot of publications gave the game a hard time saying that it was a beginner's platformer and that it was for kids. It seems though, the kids who played it have fond memories of it, so it seems now to be received as like kind of a hidden gem for the Nintendo DS, so that's pretty cool. Now you would think that after that solo outing, Peach has proved herself worthy of running around with Mario and Luigi. Nope. In the very next game, New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, which launched just a few months after Super Princess Peach here in the States, she gets snatched up by Koopa Kid. Kind of the same thing with Odyssey after 3D World. Peach's playable outings were relegated to the spin-off sports games and party games. This isn't really fair when you count the number of solo titles the other characters have. Yoshi has 12, although he has a canceled game up in there somewhere. I think it was called Yoshi's Racing. Wario has 8, and that is not counting his WarioWare games. And Luigi has 8, counting both his Super Mario Watch game and Mario is missing. So I would say that Peach is long overdue for not only her own spin-off game, but her own spin-off series. But why has she been neglected? The reasons I see brought up the most is that her dress physics would be too complicated for the Mario platforming games. I used to understand this reason, but Super Mario Run and Super Mario 3D World shows that now it's just no excuse. But there may be some truth to this. On the website The Cutting Room Floor, they showcase some unused animations for Peach in the Super Mario 64 DS game, which shows her standing idle, walking, running, jumping, and landing. Now, judging by the animation, it looks like she was probably meant to be playable. These are like playable character animations, but clearly she was cut because she's not playable in the game. And if you look at the animations, her right arm looks really janky and broken. So it's very possible that she was scrapped incredibly early on. But pay attention to her running animation. We're gonna come back to that. Now we jump to 2023. The Mario movie is a huge success, and Peach is more of a badass than she has ever been before. One thing about the movie is how heavily involved Nintendo was. So this portrayal of Peach is how they want the average viewer to see her. So at this point, Nintendo can't really go back and say, oh, hey, she's getting kidnapped again, when she does what she did in a movie that made $1.3 billion. So I knew that Nintendo had some big things planned for Peach, but I was not expecting her to have another solo game. So without further ado, let's look at this short teaser. All right, so we're starting off with the curtains rising and Peach is launching on stage from under. And accompanying her is a little star creature, and the first thing you'll notice is that her crown is missing. Oh my gosh, what is happening? In place of her crown is a pretty pink bow tying her hair up into a ponytail. Now normally, she has a blue band tying her hair into a ponytail. So don't be fooled, this bow is a choice. I don't know how it's gonna factor into the story, but this is a choice. With Peach and her friend now on stage, they've pepped themselves up and they're ready for action. Now we see Peach running through the town with her Starlight friend following behind, and look at her running animation. Does that look familiar to you? It should. It looks nearly identical to her scrapped running animation from Super Mario 64 DS, with her holding her dress with one hand and, kind of daintily swaying her arm with the other, as opposed to how we normally see her just holding her dress with both hands. And she has the ponytail. Isn't that fun? We see small creatures with big glowing blue noses, both running past her and cowering in fear. And as Peach gets closer to the enemy, the lights dim and the spotlight shines on her, the two enemies, and the two scared town creatures. Peach then launches her starry pal at the enemy. It creates a ribbon and magically blasts the creature back. The screen fades before we can see if the creature disappears after that, so I don't know if that was just a stun damage or if he got defeated. Next, we see Peach run up to a prop of a leafless tree. She does a little spin, and her companion makes a magic ribbon around her, and the tree fills up with cherry blossoms and opens an area backstage. You can see more cowering town people and some samurai-like creatures, kind of standing up to the top right of the screen. Finally, she exits this castle prop and steps on a stone spot on stage with an etching of a star on it. Then her starry friend swirls around her, and both her dress and shoes turn blue before flashing white. Part of this pose reminds me of one of her attacks in Super Smash Bros. With the ribbons swirling around her. Note that her dress and shoes glowed, but her gloves and her earrings did not. Also, the outer rim of her gem on her chest glows yellow instead of the same color as everything else. This leads me to believe that only her dress and shoes will change, but everything else will stay the same. Now, it's too early to talk about what this game is because it just really didn't show much, but I'm predicting that the gameplay will be similar to something like Yoshi's Woolly World and, Yoshi's Crafted World, just like how Super Princess Peach was similar to the Starfy games. But Nintendo has not revealed who the developers of this new Princess Peach game are, so I can't say for certain, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Good Feel, the makers of Kirby's Epic Yarn and the Yoshi's Woolly games. Now on to the big question. Is this Super Princess Peach 2? I honestly think if it was, they would have said that in the direct, but instead they chose to leave the game unnamed, so I predict this title will have a subtitle like Princess Peach's Stage Play or even Princess Peach's Ballet. It's possible that they might think Super Princess Peach was too long ago to have like a direct sequel. I, for one, did not see any sign of Perry, the umbrella she had in this teaser, so unfortunately, I don't think this game, will wrap his story up or anything. So if you stayed to the end of the video, please consider subscribing. I don't normally make videos like this, but I will keep you guys up to date on this Princess Peach game. Also be sure to like the video and let me know if you're excited for Peach's technically third solo game. All right, good night, sleepyheads.